Maniacs, it's time for another spooky video. And for tonight's spooky video, I'm going to be talking all about the urban legend of Black Annis. Black Annis is an urban legend from Leicestershire, United Kingdom. Also known as Black Agnes or Black Anna, Black Annis is depicted as a pale blue-faced hag or witch who loves to feast on human flesh, especially that of young children. She lives in the countryside of Dane Hills, inside a cave which she dug out of a sandstone cliff. This cave is known as Black Annis's Bower Close. Near the entrance stands a giant oak tree. She sleeps during the day, but at nighttime, she sets off in search of tasty children to feast upon, usually preying on those who have misbehaved. She could not find any children. She would also settle for farm animals such as sheep or lamb. Now, Black Annis is described as having pale blue skin, long claw-like fingernails, long sharp teeth, and glowing eyes. She uses her long claws to tear into children's flesh. Parents would often warn their children not to venture off into Dane Hills alone, or Black Annis would get them. She will also sit in the giant oak tree by her cave and wait patiently for victims to snatch up. She would even go as far as to actually reaching into people's windows and snatching them up from their homes. It's believed that if Black Annis comes out during the day, that her flesh will turn into stone. Although she mostly preys on small children, she is known to go after anyone who shows any sort of fear towards her. And once she eats them, she will then hang what's left of their flesh on the oak tree next to her cave to tan in the sunlight. She will then sew it into a skirt made purely of children's flesh. Her cave is said to be riddled with nothing but corpses and bones of her victims. One sure sign that the hag is near is the chattering of her teeth and footsteps. This is believed to be a warning to run and hide. However, it's said that if she catches you before you can get away, that there is nothing that you can do. Her howl can be heard from miles away. And it's believed that many cottages in Leicestershire were built with small windows purposefully to keep the witch out. Many who would hear her howl would quickly lock and shut their windows and place protective herbs above them to keep themselves safe. It's said that you can often see her long bony arms pulling children through shack windows, because glass had not yet been put in place. Black Annis was also represented in monstrous cat form. Now, I just want to clarify that I do not like this part of the story. It makes me really upset. As you guys know, I'm a huge cat lover, and I love my cats. I love all cats. I love all animals. I'm just an animal lover in general. So I do not like this part. I wanted to clarify that. But this will lead to an early spring ritual where a dead cat would be dragged before a pack of hounds in front of her bower to celebrate the end of winter. These rituals would die out, thankfully, by the end of the 18th century. Another legend stated that Black Annis, in the form of Cat Anna, lived in the cellars beneath the Leicester Castle and in the underground passage which extended from the cellars to Dane Hills she would run. Now, one story dates back to 1942, when 3 children would encounter Black Annis. Their stepmother would send them into the woods to collect firewood to burn. However, the sun had just set. The children begged and begged their stepmom to put off the chore until the very next day, as they knew that Black Annis's one fear was daylight. But the stepmother insisted that they go out and get the wood anyway. They would eventually come face to face with the witch. They would begin hearing the sound of her chattering teeth coming up behind them and this led to them screaming and dropping their sticks and taking off running. Annis, who was full of excitement as she had just found 3 new snacks for her to enjoy, began chasing after them. But her legs would get cut up as she was running through the forest, leaving a trail of blood behind her. After realizing that she was hurt, she would stop and check on her wounds. And while the children thought that they had escaped her grasp, she was still trailing behind them and would meet them just as soon as they reached their cottage door. The children's father just so happened to have made it home just in the nick of time and heard their screams. He rushed to meet them with an axe in hand and began hacking at Annis's face. She fell down screaming for blood and stumbling in the direction of her cave. Said that the church bells began to ring for the season, and that's when she fell dead. Her body was never discovered, but sightings are said to persist to this day. Many believed that Black Annis was actually based off an actual person by the name of Agnes Scott. And Agnes was one of the first Dominican nuns who lived in a very secluded little cave outside of Dane Hills. She pretty much would isolate herself from everyone, and she would eventually die in 1455. She would be buried in the churchyard in Swiftland. Swiftland Church now bears a brass plaque in her memory, as well as a 3-foot veiled statue of her. Today, the cave no longer exists. The area now belongs to a large housing estate. However, if Black Annis is still haunting the earthly plane, she is now said to be restrained to the underground tunnels beneath the castle. Or is she? There was the legend and the story of Black Annis. What do you guys think of this creepy urban legend? Have you ever heard of it before? Have you ever experienced anything if you're from the United Kingdom? I know I have subscribers from all over the world, which I think is so awesome. But let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and become a morbid maniac. Also be sure to hit that bell notification, that way you get notified every single time I upload a new video. Be sure to head on over to my second channel, Mel Vlogs, where I will be posting all of my vlogs, all of my new ASMR content. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next one.